Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV, proudly backed for the season by Ladbrokes. And we are here today for the starting 11 prediction show. It's a big one. Sunday, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspurs, Wembley. Yes, come on. Right, draw against Manchester United. Big victory in the Champions League against Maribor, 7-0. Tottenham coming into this after a great draw themselves away at Real Madrid. Energy sapping, I'd hope. This is the side that I think Jurgen Klopp is going to put out to face Tottenham Hotspur. I think he's going to put Simon Mignolet back in between the sticks. I think Joe Gomez will come in for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then I think the rest of the back four is probably going to stay exactly the same as it did last time out. So you're going to have Joel Matip, Dejan Lovren, Alberto Moreno. It's not going to be a popular one, but I think Jordan Henderson is going to come back in as the 6. And then I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say James Milner keeps his place in the centre of the park and Gini Wijnaldum plays with him. So there's 1, 2, 3 changes thus far. I think Phil Coutinho is going to play from the left-hand side. I think Mo Salah, if I can get him to stick to the board, is going to play on the right-hand side. Come on, Mo. Yes. And Roberto Firmino is going to play as the number 9. Now, normally, I've been doing the first goal scorer odds. And I did it myself last time out. And Roberto Firmino came in for me. So, sounds. I'm going to change it up this time. Before I go to the first comment, I'm going to put me odds on the board. It's 33-1. I've picked first goal scorer. Who do you guys in the comment section think I've picked as my first goal scorer? Tom, you got something for me?
Ox over Henderson, says Millowman.
Ox over Henderson, Millowman. Right, okay, so I'm assuming...
Or a lot of people saying they want Oxlade-Chamberlain to start anyway.
That could be nice, because I think what would maybe happen then is you probably drop Phil Coutinho back in there and you put Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain maybe on the right-hand side. I can understand that would definitely be an option for us. I just think with it being Tottenham Hotspur, with it being a away game, I think we'll see the same 3 up front. Now, I'm not saying that Jordan Henderson does come into this side. In fact, Chan might deserve his start as well. I'm going to start putting some of the substitutes on there as well. So we've got Alexander-Arnold, we've got Emre Can, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lloris Karius, Ragnar Klavan's going to get a game. And then I think the other 2 strikers are as they are, which is Dom Solanke, Daniel Sturridge. Have we got any other guesses for me, Tom, about who the 33-1 is and who have I picked as first goal scorer against Tottenham?
Tom Gilbert says Milner Penn, Danny H, Milner. Millowman says Mignolet. I don't think that's right. SV Debat, Genie. Jimbo the Gamer says Coutinho. Gabin says Firmino.
Oh, Ashley Sisson Music's got it spot on though. Everybody's thinking it's James Milner. It's not James Milner. Ashley Sisson Music says Moreno. And that's who I've gone for as my first goal scorer. Yeah, you know what? I won a little bit of money last time out. I'm feeling a little bit confident. I had Roberto Firmino. I think it was 12-4. I put a £5 on it, so sound on that. I'm going to use my winnings to splash out a cheeky little £5 on Alberto Moreno at 33-1. Obviously, I've got to say it. The odds fluctuate at time of the live show. It's 33-1. Terms and conditions and all that jazz, ladbrokes.com, you know the score. So I'm going to get into the comments myself right now. Matt Davison's got a really interesting one here. Why play Genie in an away game like this? Play Ox over him to allow him and Coutinho to free flow in and out of the wide areas. The kid has been bright. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I can really understand why you would want to do that, but And I personally probably would go a little bit more gung-ho, but I'm trying to predict what Klopp is doing here. And Gini Wijnaldum, I think he's one of those players where if you're fortunate enough to go to the game, you see probably a little bit more of his work than you do on the telly and stuff, on that there telly box. That's not to say that, listen, he's had an outstanding season by no stretching of my words or whatever. I don't think he's had an outstanding season thus far. But you know what? I just think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Phil Coutinho might be a little bit too gung-ho for what Klopp is thinking. But Matt, thanks very much for the comment. It was a good comment. Chenman99 comes back and says, Wijnaldum, not good enough. Luke Galea says, Pajak, why are you wearing an Arsenal shirt? It doesn't say Gunners, it says Guns. They have the copyright on Gunners, I believe, or Gunner. They don't have the copyright on Guns. It's definitely not. FSG out before Newcastle will get... Rich Owners says LFC Gamer. Get rid of Henderson, says Joe Group Dylan. Hendo for Ox. Chan for Genie. That was Joe Hughes and John Kay. KD Lofty. Is Chris the Milky Bar Kid's dad? No. I'm his brother. Chris, you put a fiver on for me, so you want to splash out and put a fiver on Moreno. Owen, yeah, man, you don't bet what you can't afford to lose. I think that's it, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can't really afford to lose much more than the fiver, so I won't bet much more than the fiver. Plus, I've got to keep a fiver for my accumulator at the weekend. Could Sturridge come in, says Insane Lemez YouTube. I think it would be insane, Lemez, if Sturridge was to come in for this game. Pardon the atrocious pun. Why does Gomez play in Trent's place, says Rocket TJ? I just think that Klopp thinks he's a better defender and probably knows that he is a better defender, like most Liverpool fans know that he's a better defender. And I think, you know, if you've got your first goal scorer down the left-hand side and Alberto Moreno bombing on, these guys can be comfortable and just be a little bit more reserved. And I think that's what we're likely to see against Tottenham. Chris, did you see the Liverpool carpool? Says Hiram Robert. No, I didn't. Peter Reeve, Chan for Hendo, Phil for Genie, Ox on the left. Yeah, there you go. A few people have been talking about that now. Guys, you understand if Newcastle get rich owners, imagine Rafa with money, they will finish ahead of us, says LFC Gamer. I'm not sure I agree with that, to be honest with you. I mean, these rebuilding projects take time, especially if they're a club like Newcastle, who, you know, first season back in the Premier League, obviously they won the Championship and stuff last year. But I just think that the gap between Newcastle right now and the top tier of the Premier League is very difficult to bridge. Like, I remember when Manchester City first got that first round of money before Sheikh Mansour come in, and they got like Alano and Rubino and those type of players. Now, Rubino was probably the first major sort of fella there that he got in, but they didn't take them anywhere, do you know what I mean? And the first round of Chelsea's money as well, like, you know, Claudio Ranieri, it took a little bit of time for him to get that Chelsea squad up to like third in the league as well, and stuff like that. So I think the gap's really big, and sometimes it's very easy to go, well, they're going to get all the money, and that means they're going to get all the best players. But if you've got a choice between Manchester United with loads of money, Manchester City with loads of money, and Newcastle with loads of money, not many players are picking Newcastle with loads of money. So it means sometimes they can't spend that money on the type of player that they want. So they have to go that little tier below, get themselves into like the second tier, as it were, where like your Liverpools and stuff are at the moment. And then from there, prove that you can get there, you can stay there, and then get the next, and then get the top tier of players. And I think that's really how Manchester City kind of moved up through the levels of the Premier League. I think that's how it happened. That's my opinion anyway. I'd be interested to hear everybody else's, but I just don't think it's as simple as that, Tom.
Interesting one from Jamie Richardson on Facebook. Firmino hasn't had a good start to the season. I would give Solanke a game.
I mean, Firmino hasn't had a stellar start to the season, has he? But you know what? Before the Maribor game, I think he scored 1 goal in 6. He comes off a game where he's scored 2 goals and got an assist. Now, for me, not the right time. Solanke, untested, against a very, very good Tottenham Hotspurs side. I personally wouldn't. I'd like to see Solanke get some minutes. It ain't in this game. And it's probably as a substitute, you know. I think he's not even beaten out Sturridge as the first substitute yet. He's very much the last one if we're winning almost, or the last roll of the dice maybe. So for me, maybe not this game, but down the line, I would like to see a little bit more of Dom Solanke. Kevin Fu says, Chris, I sent you an email and you didn't reply. Just do us a favour, let me know what email address that was in. Tom, can you keep an eye out for that? And just send it to interact@theredmentv.com anyway, and I'll definitely pick it up. Chip says, our defence will be switched on because it's a big game. We'll do what we did with Lukaku to Kane and not give him a chance. I really hope that is the case. Liverpool versus everybody agrees with me for a change. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Throwing Solanke in for this game, spot on. So I think that's sarcasm. Siraj's opinion is better. I'm not going to read it out, but I just wanted to say your opinion is not better. and you support a rubbish football team. Ben Small said, where do you think Spurs will finish in the league? Can we finish top 4? As in, oh right, okay, so you're a Spurs fan? Or are you a Liverpool fan asking? I think Spurs are going to challenge for the title. I think we saw that last season. I think, you know, they put the pressure on. It's a big Arsenal banter joke to Tottenham and stuff like that. But season before, Tottenham were the only ones in the running with Leicester, weren't they? Arsenal weren't really in the... Oh, hang on a minute. Arsenal were in the run and they dropped out. Tottenham never really got close, but they got finished second. Anyway, I digress. Tottenham Hotspur are a very, very good football team. I really, really rate Mauricio Pochettino. I think they've got some really underrated players. I know Tom really likes Wanyama. I really like Dembele. I love 3 of the back 4. I like Trippier and stuff, but Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Rose, man, I'd take all 3 of them in an absolute heartbeat. I think Lloris is a decent keeper, although he's not having the best season. Just Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, full of quality players. A great coach. He's not won anything, I don't think, in his career as yet, trophies-wise, but I think he will do. I think he'll keep developing Tottenham. I think they're a really exciting side to watch. And the reason that I really like them is that last season, I've said this so many times on shows over the last year or so, the way that they could switch sort of effortlessly between 3 at the back and 4 at the back and still keep the performance levels up. I thought, I've never seen a side that can do that before, certainly not in the Premier League, so I think they're brilliant. And if the question is, can Liverpool finish in the top 4? Absolutely. Guy Richards says, can we challenge for the title? I assume he meant title, Gary, but I'm not sure that we can challenge for the title this season, if I'm honest. I'd like to hope so, but yeah, I'm not sure. Robertson should be left back. Good debut against Arsenal, said Scott Murphy. I didn't realise that Robertson played against Arsenal. Fair enough. Listen, Robertson's been very good so far, but Moreno's been better. You know, Robertson had a good couple of games, the games that he started, but I just genuinely believe that Alberto Moreno's been one of our best players this season. Ezra Wilson, Pajak for Vikings running back. Nah, mate. Not me. McKinnon did a good job at the weekend. Mike Tyson start Pajak up front. Don't. Why is Trent not playing in the Premier League? Nicholas Cosmos. I think they have been kind of rotating, haven't they? And I think you've seen against, certainly Gomez played against Arsenal, Gomez played against Manchester United. That's why I'm assuming that Gomez will start against Tottenham and Trent maybe more in those low block sides. So maybe Trent should have started against United. Jody Short says Klopp prefers Moreno until Robertson gets settled. It's true that Klopp was talking about that at some point this week, wasn't he? That, you know, Robertson, he wants to train up in maybe a couple of different positions and stuff. So until he's fully settled, I don't expect to see starts. And it's kind of what I said about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think it is in the last starting 11 prediction, is one of those reasons that I don't think Oxlade-Chamberlain's had that many minutes, and certainly not at centre mid, is because he doesn't know the role yet. And that's also why I don't think James Milner, it's a point Paul brought up to me, is maybe James Milner hasn't had the starts these years because he's had a year at left back, so it's been a while, and he's not really played centre mid in Klopp's formation. Certainly not this 3-man midfield as much as Klopp maybe would have wanted. Maybe he's doing a little bit of classroom work or training ground work on him. I mean, Milner seemed to understand it and do it better than anyone I've seen this season, so that's why I hope that he goes in there as well. So there you go then, that's my starting 11 prediction show. As always, leave me your starting 11s in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back after the Tottenham game. We'll be from the studio, unfortunately. We won't be down in London this weekend, so I'm a little bit gutted about that. But yeah, there you go. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you next time on the Redmen.